Cary.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, I am well aware that I might be the least sus person when you look at me. I look like a cross between the girl next door grown up and your favorite local librarian. I call it librarian chic. It's my vibe. So when you look at me, you probably have some assumptions, some suspicions. Things like, I bet she likes books. You are 100% correct. I read 3 to 5 books a week. You might see me up here and think, well, she looks pretty comfortable. I bet she's good with people. You're sort of correct. I have learned to put on the persona of an extrovert, but I'm pretty hardcore introvert and peopling is hard. But what I guarantee you don't think when you look at me is that I could kick your ass in a race. Let me explain. I grew up with a bunch of boys who loved racing. NASCAR, F1, whether it was video games or in life, if it had wheels and could go fast, they were doing it. And if I wanted to hang, I had to not only do it, I had to beat them at it. So I did, to the point where, to this day, my 8 and 13-year-old children will no longer play Mario Kart with me. I turn into an unholy combination of Vin Diesel from Fast and Furious and Princess Peach. And there is no, we'll let the children win. No, I slaughter my children. Now, for any law enforcement people in the room, please know this does not translate to my everyday driving. I am not tearing around Phoenix, drifting around corners and drag racing off the line. But it does apply to go-kart racing. So my husband and I went to one of those indoor electric go-kart places. And what we weren't aware of when we bought tickets was this was one of a national network where racers can qualify to win a spot in the E1, not F1, but E1 racing teams. And this is like major for some of these people, right? They spend thousands of dollars. They race 3 or 4 times a week. It's a big deal. So we show up and we're a little late. I'm wearing my cardigan and my little Oxford shoes because that's totally appropriate date night attire in librarian chic. Thank you. And we're sitting at the back of the line and I'm shoving the helmet on and like putting my glasses through the visor and I hear these 2 bros at the front of the line and I can call them bros because they were calling each other bro. So bro 1 says to bro 2, bro, do we have any competition tonight? And bro 2 leans back and kind of scans down the line, kind of somewhat obnoxiously goes, no, bro, it's just you and me. And then proceeds to, heckle, and there's a lot more cussing going on. But essentially, they've completely dismissed us at this point. And my husband looks at me, watching them, and just shakes his head and smiles because he knows something they don't know. I'm coming for him. So we get in our go-karts in the order of the line, and since we are at the end, we're at the very back. And as we get going, and I'm starting to weave my way through the pack, I'm waving goodbye to my husband, I learned something else about qualifying night. So most of the time, if you're racing go-karts, you get in trouble for being too aggressive, right? For bumping other drivers, for running into the track. But on qualifying night, you get in trouble for going too slow. So there's a race official with a blue flag waving to the side the slower drivers so that the qualifiers have a clear path. So by lap 2, it's just me and the bros. And I'm watching them because I'd never driven these electric go-karts before, and they are fast. And so I'm trying to pick up on some tricks, and about the second curve in, I'm realizing if you get the accelerator and the brake just right, you can actually drift these carts around corners. So now it is on. I am on bro 2 like white on rice. And I am just waiting for him to make a mistake, and he does. He goes too wide around a curve, so I slip in between, he spins out, and now it's just me and bro 1. So something else I should mention is these electric carts are really quiet. They don't make like the rumbly noise. And I didn't realize this, but I'm having so much fun. I am laughing maniacally. Like my husband said he could hear me all the way on the other side. So I can only imagine what bro 1 is thinking as I'm coming up on him, cackling like a banshee, right? So we are neck and neck down the final straightaway, and we're so close that when the checkered flag drops, I don't even know who wins. So we get out and I have this vision of tossing my helmet off and my hair flowing. That's not how it happens. They're really tight and I've got glasses, so it's just like awkward. And I wish I could say I looked over at the bros and said something really suave like, shut your mouth, boys, you're letting in the flies. I didn't, because awkward peopling, right? I just kind of smiled at him. But we're looking at the leaderboard, and not only did I smoke both bros, I had the fastest lap that night. Now, I didn't qualify. That's on my bucket list. But what I hope the bros learned is that you should never judge a book by the cover or a racer by their librarian chic. And what I learned is that sometimes being the least sus person in the room is a strategic advantage.